If you're watching this, I'm assuming you've already watched the core master video detailing the voice vote value process. While the basic framework keeps meetings fast and fair, difficult real-life situations will eventually test your group's dynamic. And it is completely normal to wonder how this actually plays out when someone isn't following the rules or when emotions run high. So today, we are looking at a specific sticky scenario and walking step by step through how the framework protects your boundaries and keeps the group on track. In times of uncertainty, it is completely natural to want to prepare. But every community eventually encounters a panic prepper, a neighbor whose preparation isn't driven by calm stewardship, but by deep fear and urgency. They often bring high anxiety to meetings, and they push for extreme worst-case scenarios and insist that if the pod doesn't take immediate massive action, everything will collapse tomorrow. While their intentions might come from desire to protect people, their energy does two damaging things. It overwhelms and frightens neighbors who are just trying to take sensible everyday steps. And it pushes the group to make rushed decisions out of fear rather than careful alignment. The fearless household model is built on peace, light, and order. Fear-driven urgency destroys community resilience. So we need a clean, structured way to keep the pod grounded. When fear and urgency enter a meeting, the servant uses built-in safeguards to restore calm. Enforce the speed rule. The foundational rule of our model is that no decision may be rushed. So if time, pressure, fear, or urgency are driving the process, the discussion must automatically pause and backtrack to what is already agreed upon. Acknowledge without feeding the fire. During the voice phase, let them share their concern, but don't let it turn into a lecture on impending doom. Use the servant role to frame it neutrally, saying something like, "Thank you for sharing that perspective on emergency readiness. We have that concern noted on the board." Focus on practical, low-hanging fruit. Redirect the room from hypothetical multi-year disaster scenarios back to immediate practical stewardship. Ask the grounding question. What is a simple zero-cost step we can take this week that serves everyone, regardless of what happens in the future? If a neighbor continues to push fear or bring apocalyptic rhetoric into routine meetings, the servant holds a private one-on-one conversation. Here is an example of the conversation framework. The servant can say something like, "I appreciate how seriously you take readiness and how much effort you've put into protecting your household. But the mission of our pod is to build peace, trust, and practical daily support among neighbors. So when meetings are driven by fear or urgency, it causes people to shut down and pull away, which actually makes our street less secure. So moving forward, we need to focus our public meetings on practical, incremental steps that bring everyone along calmly. Then just remind them that their personal prep level is their own choice. Their agency is completely respected in their own home, but the pod moves at a pace that builds unity and peace, not panic. Keeping meetings grounded in calm, practical stewardship is key to keeping your neighbors engaged for the long haul. What other obstacles or high-stress situations do you anticipate encountering in your pod? Tell me where you feel an issue might pop up, and we'll map out exactly how the voice vote value framework resolves it in an upcoming video. Thanks for watching.